Hey, welcome to Bears Banner tonight. Tonight we're doing a 2-minute drill with Cristen Jones, and my name is Bernard Muhammad. How's it going, Cristen?
Good in yourself?
Oh, I'm doing good. Hey, we just come out. 2-minute drill is just usually 2-minute drill is actually a short video that we cut up into maybe like a 1 minute or 2-minute video where Cristen Jones, who is Bears Banner QB coach, where he break down quarterback film. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about the game on Monday night, where the Bears played the Minnesota Vikings. You had a lot of days to think about this game, Christian. I mean, what's your thoughts on after thinking about that game or rewatching it?
I thought it was. Anytime you get a win, I'm happy with that. Wins are hard
Mm-hmm.
to come by in the NFL, so I
Mm-hmm.
don't care if we was to win by 3 points, we got to win. So I'm happy with that. As far as the game plan, I hope that they make better adjustments moving forward. Because that game plan could have definitely been better than what it was. I will say
Okay.
that
Okay.
offensively.
Offensive. Look, thinking about that game, what I'm gonna have to give them least credit for defensively. They
Hmm.
have started looking better when they have that extended time, right? It looked like, I know this is a bye now just coming up, but they actually had the extra day because it's Monday Night Football. But the Bears under Flus have looked like whenever they had that extra time, it looked like they took extra time off. Versus being, like they look unprepared. So defensively, they look prepared. Offensively, they didn't look prepared.
No, their first draft was good. I just felt like they didn't. They wouldn't setting up plays after that first series that we had. There was no setting up plays. Normally, when as an offensive coordinator and even playing quarterback position, you're trying to set up a play to get the ultimate goal is to score or to get a big chunk of yardage in somewhere in the game. So you set up plays, and I didn't see that enough. I saw that, the slight adjustments. I know we're going to talk about that later. It, it was a little bit too much of it for my liking. There's so much other that you can do. I felt like the run game, um, that it wasn't nothing unique about it, and I felt like we got away from it a little bit too much as well.
Okay.
So
When this season, for sure, the Bears have looked pretty good on most of those first drives. And I know those are the scripted plays. And I guess it's a dilemma. You give me your opinion on this. It looked like to me the scripted plays could work for multiple reasons. One is you didn't practice those plays a lot, so you kind of come in and there's maybe a comfort with running those plays, or it was good game planning. But as the game goes on, you don't see the play call and adjustment to what's actually happening in the game. I'm going to lean more towards that they just rehearse those plays more and they kind of go more smoothly, because I noticed that even if they get drives on their first set of plays, they don't always score on them.
no, no. I, I felt like again there were opportunities in this game that you left too many plays out that should have been called that you didn't call. I remember I sent you and what's coach's name? I can't think of his name. Starts with an E. Jesus,
Oh,
he's gonna get mad at me.
uh, El Ray,
Yes,
Coach El.
Coach Elroy. When we were talking about it, you, myself, and Coach Elroy, we were talking about he could have used jet. He could have used the screen and go. Could have
Mm-hmm.
used so many things that he didn't go to it. If I'm Getty, I'll be mad that I didn't go to that play because the Eagles ran that against Minnesota and it worked. I mean, if you're gonna bring 7 or 8 at the time that they were doing, that's gonna be wide open because they went to a lot of cover zero in this game.
Okay.
And you can't tell me that Mooney or DJ Moore or even Tyler Scott can't beat a guy. Justin throws a good deep ball, so
Okay.
stuff like that was left out in the field.
Okay. Hey, let's talk a little bit of some of the stuff you said before we get to the video. I know a lot of people watch football and a lot of people play and people coach, but I do know football is probably one of the most emotional sports that people watch, right? I mean,
Yeah, yeah,
it's probably the only sport that you
yeah,
see business people go and maybe soccer is the same, but I'm not sure. The appeal of soccer is not the same in the United States and other
no,
countries is there.
yeah,
But
it's
football is a
yeah,
sport where professional people will actually go and get into a fight at. You
yes,
so I bring
yeah,
that up because this topic, what we're talking about, we really more quarterback play, but we're gonna talk about this game just to feel it's an emotional charged subject. I mean,
hmm
there's not a lot of people that's neutral, but the funny thing is, I see myself as kind of more neutral, which means I find myself where I'll say positive stuff and negative stuff. But I think
yeah,
because I say the negative stuff, I get accused of being a Justin Fields hater. But then I don't get credit for the positive. I'm not just saying you saying that, but I'm just saying because
yeah,
it's
uh-huh.
race is just a charged subject where people actually
Yeah,
have such strong opinions that it's just one of those subjects. But anyway,
yeah.
you mentioned
It's a
about
touchy subject. It's
yeah.
a touchy subject.
So you mentioned about looks about them when we was offline. Okay, the defense in that game, you said walked a lot of guys to the line of scrimmage. I mean, what percentage that you would take that actually were blesses versus them just showing a blessed look?
They blitzed a lot. I'm gonna say
Mhm.
they blitzed like 60% of the time.
60%.
But
Okay.
that other, it were about a good like 10% of it that it wasn't, which can be confusing. And they leave all of them. So they leave all they mic calls to what's his name, 62, Lucas Patrick. They leave
Mm-hmm.
all that to him. But Justin has the opportunity to can a play if he gets a certain look. Now the mic call is as they're gonna block towards the mic or they're gonna ID somebody as a mic. So that so they know that hey, we're gonna slide this way, and that lets the quarterback and running back know, okay, this is your free guy, and this is where your hot route is gonna be. So Justin doesn't set a lot of his protections from from what I was seeing. So 60% of the time
Mm-hmm.
they was blitzing, which is in their blitzes is really I mean, Flores he does a good job of confusing because I was even getting confused sometimes of who was coming, who wasn't. And I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get it until like I had to like I was telling you today, I was watching it and it was I still got some more studying to do on that one because some of it was a little confusing.
Okay. So I would say if they blitz 60% of the time, I felt the offensive line did a great job then.
They did.
Um, yeah, and this is a notion. Sometimes I do want to dispel, and sometimes people they just like argue. They did a good job, so stop saying at times the offensive line suck. They don't suck actually. Now
No, they
they
don't.
did suck earlier this year. You had a lot of injuries, but as more people got healthy, I don't. They Lucas Patrick. Yes, they need a center. He's probably the worst person on the line, but
Yeah,
other
he's
than
the
that,
weakest link.
yeah, he's the weakest link. Other than that, I thought between this game and say the last Viking game, I thought the protection was very well.
It was, and
Okay.
this is the thing. We like you were saying, how you being neutral. It's a touchy subject because some people are so protective of Justin that they don't know when to cut that off and when to hold him accountable. There has been still times to where yeah, he still be holding the ball too long, and that's his fault. Even I wish I sent you this video, but the first play of the game where they boot out and Cole Komet was the one trying to reach Daniil Hunter, I believe. Justin had that corner route open, but he rolled too far into it to where it got into his eyesight. If he would have just did a half roll, little stuff like that, Justin got to be better at. This game, when people be like, "Oh, the Lions suck," no, they did not. They were bringing like 8 guys, and Getsy, how he did it, he spread it out. So if you only got 6, 7, if you got 7-man protection, because they kept Cole Kmet in at times, and you got a running back, and you don't have a fullback, you got a slot guy. Y'all got to think about that. They're sending one guy that they can't account for. So yes,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna, that guy is an NFL player. He's gonna
Mm-hmm.
get home sometimes, and that's why I be trying to tell
Yes.
people. It's like, with the fumbles, was that his fault? Yes, but why don't we also give that defensive player credit for making a good play? Does
Right.
Justin need to hold on to the ball? Absolutely. I'm not saying that he doesn't, but when we do that, I think we don't realize on the biasism that we have, because if our guy was to make somebody fumble, oh, our guy made a great play. But when somebody else do it to our player, nah, it's not the same. Does Justin need? I'm not saying he doesn't need to fumble. I mean, not need to have better ball protection, but that guy did make a good hit. I mean, that was a good hit. I mean, he had his helmet on the ball. I mean, you teach stuff like that. Now the first fumble when he was trying to get away, that was a little bit on Justin. The second one, I mean, yeah, you got to hold it tight a little bit more, high and tight. But I mean, that defensive player still made a heck of a play.
Yeah,
You
Christian.
know,
That's a great points, because a lot of times we do in our biases don't give credit to, say, a great defensive play, right? And that one with the helmet on the ball definitely was a
that was a good
football
play.
101, right? Football 101
Yeah,
on how you dislodge a ball from a player. But but when it's all said and done, it don't matter if it's running backs or quarterbacks. Ball security is a must, right? So
absolutely,
I know,
absolutely.
I was kind of having a debate on Facebook, and it was about fumbling. And you can't never justify that a fumble was a positive thing. Fumble is never positive. Only way
Never
a fumble,
positive, right?
only way a fumble could ever result in a positive play is you were short of the first or something, and the ball whirled forward, and your guys
Mm-hmm.
recovered it beyond the first down, and you would have not been at first down. And then also they may even, I'm not sure if I'm breaking any rules as far as fumbles, but in that case, if it fumbled that way and you end up with a first, other than that, you cannot never justify that a fumble is positive.
You
A
can't.
fumble is
You
never
can't.
positive.
It's never positive. Never positive.
Yeah,
He definitely needs to shore that up. And I believe that he will. I believe that he
I think
will.
so
I mean,
too.
um, he's been making good. He's been making good progress. The ball's definitely coming out better and quicker.
Yeah,
He's definitely his decision making is better, but at times he does stare down receivers. At times his footwork is terrible. And now I know this is I didn't get a chance to talk about this, but that sack that what's our guy's name 58 Wright had
right.
gave up to the Detroit guy. What's the Detroit defensive end?
I can't think his name,
Um,
but last week, yep.
Aiden Hutchinson.
Yeah, Hudson.
Justin
I'm sorry.
Justin Justin drifted on that. He didn't go
Yep,
straight back. That was on Justin. I mean,
yep.
did Wright give up a sack? Yeah, but Justin didn't help him out. I think when you go straight back, tackles, your guards have a feel for you. Just like as a quarterback, you have a feel for where your protection is. Once you start sliding like that, and he get into his kick step, he might have thought that, hey, he was straight center like you are, and we don't know if he could have recovered or not. But he couldn't because Justin, he did his drop back straight into Aiden Hutchinson. And it's little stuff like that to where a lot of people be thinking I'm an apologist for Justin. No, I'm not. I'll be, very critical of his play, especially when it's something that he needs to be better at and something that he needs to be more consistent with. And his footwork, does need to be cleaned up just a little. It's way better than it was last year, but it can be better.
Mhm. Yeah, hey
So it's
Christian, thanks for sharing that. I mean, I love your honesty on it because I know you're a big Justin Fields supporter, and you being a quarterback coach, you being honest about that, and a lot of times I know novice fans, not novice fans, but novice football people, but maybe
hmm
good, loyal fans may not understand until you explain it how that sack could actually have been his fault on
it
how
was
he
his
dropped.
fault.
Correct.
It was
And a lot of
it
times,
was
when you drop back in the pocket, your linemen have to know where you at. And if you drift a little bit out or you take more steps than what they thought you were going to take, you could actually cause sacks because if they think you're doing a 3-step drop and for whatever
hmm
reason you end up being, say, 7 steps back for whatever reason, they may be riding that man outside so many yards
hmm
back. But if you back that far, or like in this case, he drifted, he could actually
yeah
get
he
sacked. It looks like the guy didn't block. And you mentioned another play where I think Fields rolled out and
yeah
he ran
yeah
around the blocking, but he actually should have like either planted his foot right there, and that throw was in.
yeah.
I know the
It
throw you
should have.
talking
Yeah, it was one. It was in the first drive of the game,
about. Mhm,
and it was a throwaway. And it's little stuff like that. I understand that that play may be a full sprint out.
mhm,
I'm 100% positive that that was probably a full sprint to the right, a full sprint out. They call it Q9.
Q9.
Q8 and Q9. Yeah, Q8 and Q9. I don't know why they call it Q8s and Q9s, but that's technically what that mean not technically. That is what they call it in the NFL in college. Q8s and Q9s. I don't know why, but whatever. Um, so it's a Q8. I'm assuming that the reason why it's Q8 is because always evens is to the right and odds is to the left.
That's
So
right.
so Q8 to the right, and instead of half doing a half sprint out or half roll, he rolled out quickly. I mean, is he doing his job? Yes, but that's where you was talking about earlier that sometimes he can be too analytical. At that point, you gotta just play the game and you gotta have a feel that hey, I know Daniil Hunter is out there. This is a good athlete. I know I'm not gonna be able to get all the way out there. Yet he rolls all the way out there, and Cole Kmet is trying to reach that defensive end. He gets into his line of sight, and he can't see that he could actually throw that corner out to DJ Moore. So at that
Mhm.
point, now you got to kill the play, and that's a wasted play.
Okay. Yeah. You know what? And I want to go back to something what you said earlier. I think Justin Fields' footwork has improved a lot this year. Uh, I noticed his throwing mechanics seem to be much faster than it was earlier this year. Because I swear at times it seemed like he was throwing darts, right? Where you kind of, you just kind of lining up a dart and you trying to, line it up and or like a baseball pitcher. I notice now
hmm
his throwing motion seems a whole lot more faster. And then I know also when you have some mechanic issue, no matter what it is or whatever sport it is, that's why it's so much muscle ream. The more you do it right, the more when stuff break down, you stay on your mechanics. So I know it's going to take a while, right? So when stuff breaks down, that's when if you have some bad habits, those bad habits show themselves up, right? So the footwork is going to
hmm
get a little sloppy when things break down, but that's okay. That's part of the learning process. But Christian, we got
Absolutely.
this tape that you want to run. Do you want
Yep.
to break down what the tape is going to be before we run it?
Yeah. So the tape that they got, they went to a spread look. So they going to a max protection look here, and you're gonna have trips to your right, and you got two verticals, and you got I would call it a snag route, where DJ Moore is coming out from that slot position, and he's gonna come wide open. The defense you'll see they in cover zero with the middle linebacker and a spy, and they rushing six. So you can go ahead and play it, and you'll see what I mean when you play it.
Yes. Oh, I see one of the Facebook users say, I agree that the fumble is never acceptable. However, number 44 hit it right on the spot that caused a fumble. Twice
Yeah,
they had 8. Yes, and yes, correct. That's what Christian acknowledged, that the defensive player on that second fumble, just made a good hit on the ball. Other thing you could do on plays like that is, one, protect the ball as much as you can, and as a quarterback, try not to take those kind of head-on hits. I know he was trying
right.
to stand
Yeah,
to get to the first down, so that was a tricky part. That I can't remember what down it was, but he was definitely trying to get to the first down, and that's why he probably didn't slide at that point.
he'll
But
learn from it.
yeah,
He'll learn from it and playing in position just like you're a running back. You can tell when a running back because you played the position is thinking too
mm-hmm,
fast. And you can
yeah,
tell when running back is just in the zone. He's everything is slowed down, and now he's just reacting. Sometimes when Justin goes to rush, you can tell when he's thinking too fast, or you can tell when he's just reacting. He's just in the zone. He comfortable. There were a couple of times in this game where he was just getting evading pressure, and he was like good. But then there was sometimes in the moments where hey, I need this down. So now he really trying hard and he not really reacting. Now he's thinking too much. And I believe on that one where that ball was fumbled, that's not normally Justin. Justin normally don't go head on. He'll pull up, he'll slide, or he'll try
yeah,
to
he's
juke
pressing.
somebody, or he'll
Yeah,
he'll have his head on the swivel. He was desperately trying to make a play, and that's when you mess up.
yeah. But yeah, that's a good observation, Christian, about a running back, because Jay had texted me during that game about Herbert cutting the ball up too quick. What's going
Hmm.
on with that? And I actually said two things. I said, one, he's been impatient since he came back. And I said, two, they fired the running back coach.
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
they replaced him with somebody, right? But that's a different set of eyes, right? Looking
yeah.
at you.
I
Those are the
agree with
little
that.
things that, yeah, what that's one of the things too with young running backs as well, right? Is being impatient. That's just like the Detroit running back.
Yeah,
He's gonna be a gamer. His thing is, to me, is he runs at full speed too often, right? He when he's behind the line of scrimmage, so sometimes he does not let the blocking get in place before he wants to sprint. But as he
yeah,
gets more patient, I mean, that guy's a dangerous runner.
absolutely. I agree with you.
Okay, you want me to run it, Christian?
Yeah, go ahead. Let's run it.
Okay,
All right, you see that? Good pass. Now, if you can try to rewind it
you mind it?
and
Okay,
yeah, like try to rewind it
let me know
right
when
there.
right here.
Right there. Yeah, now you can see Cole Komet right there at the bottom. They went max protection. They brought six. We protect with six. We got three-man route. They're in zero coverage. You can see that middle linebacker right there. He is in a spot position. He's not playing robber. They're not in a robber. He is a straight spy, waiting for Justin trying to make a move. And this was dialed up perfectly. I don't understand why we didn't do more of this, especially when they were going to bring seven. And I felt like even when they were bringing eight, you could have did something like this. You could have rolled away from the pressure. You could have slid into the pressure. It was more other stuff that you could have done. This right here is dialed up perfectly. And also, this ain't this route concept that you see is not a West Coast offense concept for you guys at home. This is a spread concept where this ball is thrown to an area of the field. There is no read. This ball was going to number two more the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
There's no other. If you can watch it, if you can just go ahead and rewind it, so the people at
Rewind it.
home can see. Yeah, so the people at home can see. There's no other option in this. There was one option in this, as you can see, as y'all can see. There was only one option in this, and that was going to more. That was a design play. So, as I was saying earlier, I don't understand why he didn't set up plays like this that you can now go off of this to combat off of that in case they do bring 8 or 7 or however, or even if they dropped into zone, then this is a different situation. Then
Okay.
it's now we talking different, and now you can do different stuff off of this.
Okay. Hey, so thank you for that breakdown. Hey, let's talk about. I know that one of the talks this week that's been getting a lot of conversation has been the amount of what appeared to be screens in this game. And I know you and I kind of talked about it, that quite a few of these might have been what they call sight adjustments.
Mm-hmm.
Can you break down like what's the terminology, and let's separate the sight adjustments from the screens, because what we don't want people to think is we're saying that if it was a sight adjustment that all these was done by Justin Fields. That's not what we're trying to say. So I just want to make sure that you explain like what is a sight adjustment play. I guess it's like I'm trying to think of I'm going brain dead on the actual term, but
I know what you. No, it's a sight adjustment. So a sight adjustment is based off of a look that you're gonna get. For just easy for everybody to get at home. You see 8 in the box, 9 in the box, double A gap pressure. Okay, we're gonna go ahead, and it's a run play.
mm-hmm.
I don't have to. There's no there's no kill. The wide receivers already know to know if we get this look, we doing this play every time. I don't have to call to it. I don't have to kill to it or nothing. It's going straight that way. How you know it's not a sight adjustment is when you start seeing linemen make their initial block, hold it for a second, and then go towards the guy that they're supposed to block.
Mm-hmm.
It could be a tunnel screen. Normally, in tunnel screens, you might see the tackle shoot straight out to the corner or linebacker, whoever his guy is. That's when you'll know the difference. When you know it's a sight adjustment, or if it's a kill, you'll start noticing that, okay, something is going to change. You'll start seeing changes, or you might not see a change. You might just see the linemen going up the field. I mean, they might have single blocks. They might be reach blocking. They might have double teams. They might be doing duos, whatever it could be. And you'll see that that's not changing, but the quarterback is not even looking to even go through a fake with the running back, with no kind of mesh. He's getting the ball and he's firing it out there. That's how you'll know if it's a side adjustment. And there were a few times to where Justin wasn't even meshing with the guy. He was straight getting it, and he was turning and firing.
Yeah, thanks. I think that's a great explanation for people who maybe novice football watchers, right? But don't really maybe know how the game actually work. Because I saw an article this week where the headline said this, and I saw some people who didn't probably even read the article that start saying that's stupid. They were just running too many screens. But I think what they did, but the way the article was written, I shouldn't say the way it was written. The headline says Justin Fields audible to all these screens. I think it was something like that. So the person just said it was stupid, but you know how they just, you get clickbait headlines, right? That doesn't even mean the article actually said that. That's just what the concept, what they said on the title of the article. But anyway, I'm glad you explained that, because the flaw I thought would happen in that game in that aspect was it still just seems like when they did that, that's up to the OC to not actually call a design screens in that same sequence of events, right? So you had like maybe it was a sight adjustment, then maybe they did something else, and for some reason, Gessie may call a screen in that same set of drives, right? And you were like, man, you just ran something, but like Cristen just explained, one of the ways to tell the difference is if it's a sight adjustment, you don't see the linemen going out there to block. So for a lot of those plays with DJ Moore, other than him just being a hard runner, if you notice, there was not nobody out there pulling on a lot of those plays with him. He was actually just in open field by himself. But on the Mooney plays they tried to run, I think he was targeted once on it. You could tell it was a design screen because they was able to get there. But I don't know what's going on with Mooney. You make this point right now. Mooney doesn't look like he's trying to me. I'm going to say it again. He doesn't look like he's trying.
They got him doing some crazy stuff. I mean,
blocking.
They got this man. He ain't nothing. Well, he probably what 105, probably soaking wet.
Yeah.
And you got him lead blocking for DJ Moore. I don't like that. And
I don't like that either.
With them side adjustments, that was game plan for. So he did his job. If your offensive coordinator say this is what we doing against a certain look, hey, if y'all practice that all day and that's the only thing that you have for that certain look, you have no choice but to run it. Because then what would have been the narrative, Justin continued to go through the play, and Luke Gessie gonna throw him out to the wolves, throw him out to dry. I'm sorry, and say, well, we had a certain look against this look, and we didn't get to it. Now everybody knowing that you're talking about Justin, so it's so many different ways he can't win for lose. And to think about side adjustments, that brings me to the Super Bowl when Andy Reid went to that weird half motion swing out play because he noticed that Philly when they were a man, they never followed. They didn't trail. They would bring the guy down who was coming to that side, and they'll let you know, okay, we still in a man. This guy, that safety gonna come down and take him. So they noticed that. That's the same thing. When you notice certain stuff, you game plan towards it. You just better hope it works and not. That's up to you. Hopefully that it works. And you better have something to combat that. That's all I would say. And we did.
Yeah. I remember that in the Super Bowl where he kind of did that motion and then around and ran the route back to the same side of the field. And in that aspect, the corner on that side, it seemed like automatically just assumed he went to the other side.
Right. He didn't trail him.
Didn't even trail him or anything. Just kind of like, okay, he went to the other side, but he came back that way.
Yeah.
But that's the kind of things, the Bears offense, I mean, some of the play calling is very suspect. I will say that the Bears don't have an identity. That once they get crossed that 50-yard line, them as a team, they tense up to me. It's like they get so tense in the play call and whatever work to get there, they kind of don't know what they're going to do. And they got to figure out how not to do that, because I think this kind of dictates why they come up short a lot once they cross that 50-yard line, right? And then also they tend to get penalties too when they get across the 50-yard line. It's weird.
Yes.
It shows that they're tense, right?
Yes. And if you don't mind if I take it a step further with identity, you have that, which is you nailed that one. From game to game, there's no identity either, because you'll see that Denver game where Justin, in my opinion, had his best game. That Denver game, he was outstanding. You go to next week and we play the Vikings where he broke his thumb. We come out in formations and packages that we didn't do the previous game. So it's stuff like that. And then when guys be so hard on Justin, you got to understand, even as people, we are repetitious people. We need, even in our jobs, we need to do something over and over and over and over and over again in different variety of ways for us to become natural to us. There is nothing that we do the same in different formations, different variations in this offense. We don't do nothing the same. You can look at the 49ers offense. They'll run that stretch play, and they got about a good 10 ways, big bro, how they get
Mm-hmm.
to it.
Mm-hmm.
Even off of that, you can say that's gonna lead to success. We don't have none of that. So it's kind of hard for us to put this man in this type of position saying, well, he needs to grow when okay, you run this play, now I'm gonna call this other play that I haven't even repped enough. And you're gonna call this in a game and you expect me. I understand I'm a professional, but there are certain throws that he might not feel comfortable in making. So
Mm-hmm.
you nailed it on the head. We don't have an identity. We don't
Yeah.
have none at all.
Yeah. Hey, like everybody, thank everybody who tuned in to Bears Banner tonight. Hit the subscription button if you can, if you're on YouTube. Tonight, we're doing a 2-minute drill with Christian Jones as we talk about quarterback play, and specifically, we're talking about Justin Fields in the last game. Christian, yeah. I mean, I'm gonna bring this up, and I hope people don't try to lynch me or
No, go
call
ahead and say it, bro.
me. Okay, I'm gonna say this: the Bears, when Bajan came in, was a running team.
Yes.
They actually,
Mm-hmm.
they actually called a game plan where those became Foreman's best games, and even right
Mm-hmm.
before Foreman got hurt, um, they was running a little bit better, even with
Mm-hmm.
Herbert and all that, and the rotation of him and Johnson. It seemed like
Yes.
since the Bears came back, I mean, I can understand the coaches probably feel the pressure too, that the development of Justin Fields or trying to figure out what they're going to do is so much in the forefront that they have abandoned the running game. It's no consistency on running the ball. And if you look at the up until Justin injuries, those Washington game and a couple of those games right up in there, which I would agree were his best game. I don't know how
Mm-hmm.
the stats in front of me. They were running the ball more consistently. They had more touchdowns in them 2 or 3 games. And it's amazing that since he came from the injury, they have actually, I believe, no offensive touchdowns.
Yes.
You know,
I agree.
yeah. And so Justin Fields has actually been stuck on 12 touchdowns now. And I think it's because they're not helping themselves by not allowing the running backs to run more so they can set up play action more. And so I'm telling you, once you start getting close to that red zone, if you're not running consistently, your passing better be spot on. It better be
Yes.
spot on. Because if not,
Yes.
that's why it's hard to move the ball because it's too condensed in that area.
It and so I watched a little bit of the Vikings game. I was cramming for tonight's show. I know you're
Mm-hmm.
not supposed to do that, but I was cramming, y'all. I watched a little bit of the Eagles because they played Minnesota Vikings early on this year, and the Eagles had success running the ball.
Mm-hmm.
The difference is you nailed it again. I don't understand why we don't have those same um, runs. So when you watch the Bears, you'll see about 5 different, I'll say three, about 3 different blocking schemes. You'll see zone blocking. You'll see gap.
Mm-hmm.
You'll see a little bit of duo. I know I said
Mm-hmm.
five. I'm sorry, I meant three. So you'll see a zone, duo, gap blocking scheme. When since Justin's been back, I've been seeing just more zone than anything because they do a lot of zone reads. I haven't seen too many RPOs, but zone reads. That's troubling because when um Bajent was in, you seen all three. So
Mm-hmm.
that's letting me know that I don't understand what the thought process, why the scheme changes when Justin's in there. And I agree with you. If I was an offensive coordinator, y'all know I love Justin, but I still wouldn't. I would never go into a game thinking I'm gonna throw the ball 40 times with him. His limit for me would have been about his max throws would be about 35. But I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
make sure I'm making sure I'm running the ball if I can, if I'm able to, depending on how the game goes. Because sometimes how the game is, you can't run the ball 30 times. Might be, 20. Depends, especially if you get behind in the game, then you got to throw it. But my thought process going to the game, I want to run the ball 30 times, and I want to throw the ball 25 times. And
Yeah,
and and
yes.
out of and out of that, I don't want that many full dropbacks for him. So
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you, Christian. That's one of the things I keep saying too, where is the Bears are not running enough with their running backs, and when they do run, and in the last 3 or 4, these last 2 games for sure, they're not doing any power running, right?
no,
I
nothing.
mean, power. I mean, any back that's worth something, unless they just kind of just like a scat back totally. Man, they love when you call power, man. I mean, the linemen love it, man. When you just hit that word power, man, anybody who's been on offense blocking and a running back, man, we love that word power. Man, we about to run
Yeah,
a power, a power.
yeah.
Oh man, that's my lick right there, run that power.
Power works in the NFL because they still do it today. It works
Mm-hmm.
in any level of football you are in. You know how to coach it, and you get your guys to do it the right way. It can't be stopped.
Yeah.
So I don't understand. I can't. I wish I was in their meetings to understand, to get a better understanding, but I don't know. I don't know why the game plan is, even with the run game. I don't know why the game plan in the run game has changed from Bajent to Justin. I don't. That should have never changed. Honestly, I I would really want to have a guy as an offensive coordinator who can really scheme up really unique and game breaking run plays than the pass, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, because you're gonna always need a run game. Because there ain't too many special type of quarterbacks that are Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Pat Mahomes. Those guys don't grow on trees. Those guys are the only guys that I've seen. Dan Marino, he's another one. The only ones that I've seen that never needed a run game. Every quarterback after that has needed a run game. Drew
Yeah.
Brees needed a run game because he wouldn't go stand a chance without a run game.
Yeah.
So you got to have a run game. And again, go back to Kyle Shanahan. Reason why his teams have been so relevant is because their run game is way more unique than their passing game. The passing
Mm-hmm.
game is not that special. They do some good stuff, but they really beat you up in the run game, just like the Eagles. The Eagles, they run the ball. I
Mm-hmm.
understand Jalen Hurts is having an MVP type season, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm taking anything away from him. That run game is really what the Eagles really make their bread and butter on. They run it with him. They run it with their running back. Who's their running back again? I can't think of his name. Shoot. Anyway, he's really good. It comes to me later. They run the ball. With us, you'll see from game to game it'll change. You'll see
Yeah.
from game to game it'll change, and I don't understand it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, when you got Tevin Jenkins out there, man, who's literally pancaking guys, and
Yes.
I'm gonna say this. I mean, if you think about how good this guy is, literally between him and Wright, they actually handled Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa.
Yeah,
They
they should have
handled.
never.
I
I
mean,
don't know why they didn't keep him on that side. I would never change them.
see, you know what? I would say Swift is the back.
Okay.
Yep,
Okay.
for the Philly.
Okay.
Yeah, you know
Thank
what?
you for
I
that.
would have considered the same thing because that combination of them on that side, you was actually getting a gap that was ridiculous. And you know what? On some of that, it was so ridiculous that even I was watching some film. Even what's the center name right now? I can't think of his name. Patrick Lucas.
Lucas Patrick. Yeah.
He was actually getting up the field, hitting
Hmm.
some guys on the second level because those guys were just cleaning their guys out.
Yeah.
And
They moving guys. I mean,
yeah,
they were moving guys, and I just wouldn't have continuity. It means a lot on that offensive line, and it means a
mm-hmm,
lot to the quarterback and running back too. They don't
yeah,
talk about this. You know, you played the position.
mm-hmm,
Continuity for just a running back. Now you know I don't have to think too much. You can just know like after every play, every play that's called, I don't have to think too much. I know it's gonna be there.
right,
And those guys for that stretch of game till he was playing that right guard position, it was nasty over there. They was moving guys.
yeah,
It was
yeah.
beautiful. I wouldn't have changed it. I would have told what's his name? What's his name?
Nate Davis,
What's
Nate
Nate
Davis,
Davis. I would say you gonna have to earn your money and go to that left side
right,
for real.
yeah,
At this
yeah,
point, I mean, you messing stuff up because you mean that right side we was running the ball and it means something because you got to think about it, bro. If it's a 4th and 1 and we need this yard to seal the game,
mm-hmm,
what combination you gonna go with now? That was your best combination.
yeah,
I would
yeah,
rather have that knowing, hey, this is my combination. So if I ever get in a pickle, I'm running behind them guys, and that's it.
yeah, yeah. That's a great point, Christian. Because what you had to was two linemen that your two best linemen is right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, what you got right now is you have a center in between that who's not good. Now, if he
Right.
was a good center, look, people would not be saying anything about the Bears offensive line at all because you will
No,
actually have a good center in between Jenkins and Nate Davis. Oh my God. I mean, man, look, that middle of that field or running right or left. Oh my God, that would just be you would just be beasting doing that, you
you
know.
would.
So
I think it was a bad decision, bro. Uh,
mhm,
I mean, offensive linemen in the NFL should be cross training anyway.
yeah. Yeah.
So,
Now, I would say that may struggle on the line. I would say maybe left and right tackle, right? You
mm,
know, it depends on how long you play. You may struggle a little bit switching if you only played on one side, right? Because of the view, right? But I think
hmm
you definitely should be cross trained between right guard and left guard, right? I mean,
yeah. Even center, if you're a guard, you should be snapping the ball too,
yeah.
because you. I think what they only dressed were like 8 linemen on Sunday,
Mm-hmm.
because it's a
Mm-hmm.
roster of 25 on Sunday out of the 52. So I mean, you're not gonna dress, a center. I mean, you want to dress a guard who can play center, because if you just dress a center and all he can do is play center, you're gonna screw yourself if one of your guards go down. Now you in some trouble. So yeah, I would hope that you got a guard who know how to play some center. If
Right.
not, you're in some trouble.
Right. Hey, Chris, before we wrap up, I actually want to go back to this video for a second, but I want you to, it's something you said that I think it would be, I want you to point out. Hold on, let's go back to this video.
Okay.
Okay. Hold on. I think I need to rewind it. Okay. Man, we're gonna have to get a pointer on this here.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have pointed out they are in the trip set,
Yeah,
at the
and
top.
trips are right. Yeah, or
Mhm,
quads or whatever you want to
mhm.
call it. It doesn't
Whatever.
doesn't
Okay.
matter. Yeah, there's no
So on
difference.
this
It's
play,
all
you
the
you
same thing.
indicated. Okay, so you indicated on this play, this really wasn't a read at all.
No.
This was really just going to DJ Moore. Now,
Yeah, they schemed them open. Hmm.
okay, so this is a concept that, man, if you could explain stuff like this where sometimes us as novice, fans, we see guys running and we don't understand that sometimes their play was not designed to be read. It was just designed to go to the person. So let's run this again.
Yep. Okay. So I'm gonna
Go
explain
back to
in most simplest form. All right, I'm gonna start from the defense. All right, the defense is in cover zero. The cover zero is you don't have the safety got a man. That's the best I can explain it to you. Cover zero, the safety got a man. The middle field is gonna be wide open because the safety is taking a man, and you blitzing with six. You blitzing with six. Okay. Um, DJ Moore is a natural rub to where like how some guys when you rub the guy it gets in the way. This is a more natural rub because one, they are in cover zero, which is man. So everybody got a man. Everybody got a man. He schemes open because they got confused on who was their man. And it's a natural rub. So the ball was going to go to DJ Moore regardless because they knew that they were in man. Minnesota must have showed Luke Getzey something or the offensive team something to where they said, okay, we can go to this. This was a scheme play. This is something that you can run in cover zero, cover one, man, zone. I wouldn't like this look against zone because it causes problems. But if you've seen this against zone, you can then come off to something else that shows the same look that will hurt a zone. So that's all.
Okay, man, thank you. Hey, you know what I do notice on this, and correct me if I'm wrong on this. Okay, what I see also in this play is I wish I had watched this earlier. I know I actually just first time seeing it right before we got on the air. Is what I see here too on this play. If you look at what DJ Moore is at, what's really key on this play that Justin Fields does is he's staring right there with his safety. And he's getting that safety on the bottom side as well to keep him to stay in the middle of the field. So he's staring in the middle, kind of towards the middle of the field, like he's going to throw in the middle, which actually frees those two safeties because they're actually looking at him. But he already knows that this play is going to be, he's going to stop right there in that gap. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. You want to do that. You want to you won't, even though it is man, it's cover zero or whatever it is that you want. You don't want to stare this down because even though it's man, that's still a DB who might run like 4-4 or 4-3 or whatever, and that could get picked off. So as you trying to have these safeties and these defenders assume that you're trying to push this ball deep, and then you turn your head and you snap the ball to DJ Moore, and you see there's no defender near him. That's what you want. This was a perfect design play against a team that does blitz heavily. He caught him at the right time. They blitz with six. We protected. I think I said earlier we protected with six. We actually protected with seven. I don't like the way that we protected with seven, but I mean it worked. You got the running back who was there, who was carrying out the fake, and then he sees that he doesn't have anyone to block. You can see him coming to the screen as a hot route. I'm assuming. I don't think so, but I mean he's just looking as if he's going to be a hot route. But this is a good play to run against any kind of man, cover zero, cover one. This is a good route to run in that.
Okay. Let's play it again for those who might have just tuned in. Man, this was a nice design play. Yeah, because when you look at it, that safety on the bottom, he's just staring at Justin Fields, staring at the post, right? And so he's backpedaling into the post. both of them actually backpedaling, but then when everybody clear out, DJ Moore actually sit down in that zone.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, he's
It,
wide open. Great read.
it perfect design. Everybody picked up their man on the offensive line. Cole Kmet did a heck of a job. He's earning his money because this man blocking the defensive ends with no help. You go back, I mean, if y'all, those that come back and rewatch this, you'll see um, he didn't have any help on that. So he earning his money, that contract that he got.
Okay. Yeah, next we got to get back to. I know we started the football. I'm sorry, the quarterback thing with you and D Hamp, and we
Yeah.
haven't came back to part 2 yet. I know I hit him trying to get him on, so we work that out. But I definitely want to get into a little bit more some of the passing concepts that y'all talked about, and mesh concepts and some of the other concepts that you'll see.
Yeah.
And so people could kind of get a little bit more football knowledge of what's going on. And sometimes you'll see routes where they really just routes designed just to get another guy open, right?
Yeah.
And you know,
Hmm. And a lot of times those at home watching, you might think, was this a mesh concept? Was it not? 9 times out of 10, you probably right. It is that. It just looks different. Everybody does the same thing, even high school. Everybody does the same thing. They just got a different way how to get to it. You'll start noticing when something is not a concept and something is designed when you see something that's not usual. Like a mesh concept, once you start understanding of it, you'll get the understanding of what a mesh is trying to do. So then you'll have an idea, okay, that was a mesh, or this was smash concept, or
mm-hmm.
this was a cell concept, or this was levels, or or this was a snag concept, things like this, or this was arrow, little things like that, or sticks routes. You will get an idea, okay, that wasn't this. And then when you see something like what we just ran, I mean, the video that we just ran, you'll see that's not a concept. That's just something that he schemed up and designed. Because that's not a concept. I couldn't tell you what that was. That's not a concept, but I could just tell you based off of how it was designed what they were trying to do. Because you're not going to tell me that how that was looked at, that post route was going to be the number one route, and that other uh dive, I want to say that was a drive
Mm-hmm.
route. I don't want to say who was that, Mooney or Scott, whoever that guy was. You're not going to tell me that one of those two, one or two, because that wouldn't make sense. You would never want to push vertical straight at a safety. Not like
Mm-hmm.
that. Not like that. There are ways to
Yeah,
do it, but you wouldn't do it like that. So that's how y'all at home would, be able to understand passing concepts. And before we go, again, passing concepts don't change um, from even at the eighth grade level all the way up to high school. Everybody run the same thing, literally. Just when you get to the NFL, they try to make the most simplest thing sound the most hardest.
yeah,
It'll drive you crazy because once you go home and you think about it, you say, "Why you just didn't call it this?" Because that's what this is. And then
yeah.
you got to say this whole sentence, and you like, "Good God, just call it for what it is, and let's go play."
Yeah. So you know what? I got to get Jay to back. I know Jay on here all the time, but to talk more in depth about wide receiver routes.
Oh yeah,
Like
he'll be good at that. He'll be
yeah.
amazing at it. He
I mean, I know he
he'll
talked about
definitely
the
break that
tree.
down.
Yeah, he talked about the route tree, but like just like you mentioned, mentioned the stick route, a dagger
Yeah,
route, you know. So that way we use terms like that. The people who watch all the time, they'll be able to understand like what did he mean when he say dagger and stick. And a lot of people, they only play, depending on how long ago they play high school, they might not even taught you these concepts at all. You
yeah,
just You might just been there and you just you dropped out. You just dropped back as a quarterback, and they just told you to just throw to this guy, or you as a receiver, you just ran. Yeah, you might just ran a post, out, and a smack. That might have been
so true.
Yeah,
that is so true. In high school, we went from a pro style offense my freshman year. Then when Coach Yates and them got there, Coach DJ, they went to Wishbone. So when I got to college, I had to know the number system because I didn't know it. So you're absolutely right. So I don't want nobody thinking like I just know it all and I had to study because I didn't know what none of this stuff was. And even when I got to college, it was still like I took a little learning curve because when I got to college, we went from spread offense to digit offense to a little bit of West Coast offense. I played in 3 offenses when I was in college. So my head was spinning. And once you start learning certain stuff, you can start to compare the how everything is literally the same. It's just the difference is just the terminology of it. Like a digit offense, they'll say a number left to right, so they might go 8.99. You know what I'm saying? Two go routes and a post route. Stuff like that.
right.
So.
Right. Okay. Hey, thank you, Cristen, for joining us tonight. And thank everybody who tuned in tonight. So we'll be back with the the pregame show sometime next week. And we might squeeze in the show even before we get to that. I'm trying to get Eric Armstrong. Actually, Jay said he wanted to do a show with you and Eric, right? Okay. So I gotta try to make that happen. But anyway,
that'll be love.
That'll be nice. Yeah. All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Peace.